I know what must have happened, and I see the chat saying as much, that he meant to go pawn to g6, but he probably had already grabbed his queen and then like try to put the pawn in g6, and so his queen went to g6 instead of the pawn. It's a mouse slip.
Possible, but the drag click where you click the square and then the piece is not a thing. It's not a smart move on chess.com. There's grabbing the piece and then moving to the square. And there's clicking on the square and then clicking on... It's possible. Obviously possible, but it still seems really uncharacteristic of Carlsen.
Well, maybe he just wanted to give a nod to the Botez sisters and all their great work on Twitch, because that was a Botez gambit if I've ever seen one.
Hey, and like most Botez gambits, you remember it for the reaction, not for the quality chess. And that's what just happened right there. Oh my gosh.
I cannot believe what we just saw, and I'm going to try to get back to the game at hand, but my mind will still be on that queen blunder for a while to come. But in this position, once again, Maxime has sacrificed a pawn in the early stages of the game, and he's hoping that the bishop pair is enough compensation. But when I see this position, I see white trying to go f5. The d5 square looks nice. Somehow it feels like white should be better, but Maxime has a really good grasp of these positions. At least he has shown that throughout this match.
Yeah, agreed. Because I'm with you. The optics, I love white's position. It feels like black's pawns are ugly. White has space. But Maxime has been playing this type of weird King's Indian Sicilian gone wrong here for several games. But I will say, it doesn't mean he's had better positions, Robert. He's been better in the critical moments. I mean, that's what's happened, right? Magnus hasn't been himself in the critical moments. I don't know that it's because Maxime has had great positions in the middle game.
That's true. And I mean, this position is, look at this, a pawn on d6 already. That pawn go to d7, you put a bishop on b5. And even though black is up a pawn, only white can be better here, right?
Yeah. It's an obstacle bishop position, so you're kind of happy if you're MBL, right? Because at this point, you're playing a little bit with house money after you just stole that game. Up two games when it could easily be tied.
I'm still in disbelief, honestly, and I'm trying to figure this one out here. Rook f1 coming, but the king on g7 protects the bishop there. I like e3 mostly as a decoy, but also to allow you to play e4 next and plug that bishop on the d4 square for black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a fantastic idea. You might even lose one of the pawns. It almost doesn't matter. This d4 square is such a strong outpost. It also cuts off communication from white's rooks to the passed d-pawn. What a great idea, Robert. And Magnus is thinking about it as well, because he thinks it's a good idea too. It's a little frustrating. Here comes e4.
It's one of those moves that I didn't see myself, but once he played it, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Let's improve that bishop on f6, which is staring into its own pawn.
Indeed, and indeed, we have a match today. 26,000 plus of you on Twitch, 20,000 on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We are going to have a photo finish. d2, king c2. Now, still Carlsen's two-result position to play for, right? He's going to win e4, I think.
Although I don't know if we can say two results anymore after that last game. All three results, always possible.
A queen g6 is Botez gambit, always possible. Not here, though.
Yep. No queens to blunder.
Wild. Okay, look at... You know what that move says, Robert? This Maxime's playing for a win with that move f5.
He certainly is. Because he realizes that the pawn can't get too far, and why not move the pawns of his own?
Yeah, I mean, that was and look at g3 is weak. I mean, if you wanted to simplify everyone, let's bring up the analysis board. Maxime could have played other moves. I mean, including just bishop d4 to cut off and come into b2. But f5 is risky because it allows white this move that's going to keep protection of the d pawn. But Maxime says, no, it's okay. I don't fear the d pawn. I think black is doing okay here.
Oh,
maybe he'll regret it.
Well, b4 just went to undermine. Then up here comes the second pawn, and now they're in touch with
c6.
one another.
Oh my gosh, who's better?
This turned around really quickly. White has to be better. You have pawn in the 7th rank.
Yeah, and F4 is not possible
what-
because C7. Yeah, I mean, you see Magnus kind of lean in there, and Maxime give a little bit of a, right? That was very subtle, but it was a hidden behind that manly goatee, but Maxime was not happy with that.
Oh, stealing a pawn there. So what's the count? Even material, but we can tell whose pawns are better here. Those pawns on C6 and D7. I like rook F8 a lot. It's a great move. You can't just sit passively, otherwise white's going to start scooping up all the material. Rook F8 allows that rook to infiltrate later, and the C6 pawn now is a problem.
King to D6 played. Yeah, that might have been the trick for Maxime to force the draw. Honestly, that was very well timed. You said it. Rook F8, well timed. King D6. He did not take a passive defensive approach. MVL got aggressive.
But the clock situation is not good for Maxime, and Rook B5 check is a scary move to meet.
Oh,
because
wow.
the king might have to go to A6.
Look at that move. He
So
did
gives
that
up the H pawn
specifically to free the C7 square.
So they're separated pawn, which should be good for winning chances, all things considered. But I think that Rook F6 move was really nice by Maxime.
Yeah, it might be enough to draw, actually. H6 and H7
Wait a
is
sec,
going
wait
to
a sec.
freeze. What?
No, it's the wrong bishop. It's the wrong bishop. Just put your king on H8. That's all you need to do.
And you can
Easy
sack.
draw.
Okay, don't play King
Yep.
F8 because that would allow the blunder. But yes, you can sack your. The point is, you can always sack for the D pawn
Wait,
as
but
long
you
as the
can't
king
get that.
reaches this corner. It's a draw.
But you're not able to do that, actually. You can never sack because your king can't get over there. Your king is stuck where it is. It's winning.
What in the world?
Just king D5, king C6. This is winning.
And eventually, you get your king to C8.
Oh, it's wow.
He's in Zugzwang.
That is
And he won on time. Wait, NBL